There is a moment that no one escapes, a moment so certain that it follows every heartbeat, yet so ignored that people live as if it will never arrive. It is not a distant story. It is not something that belongs to others. It is your reality, waiting quietly, patiently, closer than you think. You wake up, you move through life. You chase goals, you worry about opinions. You build plans for years ahead. But there is a reality beneath all of that, a truth that does not change, no matter how distracted you become. One day, everything you know will be taken away, and you will be placed in the grave. And the intoxication of death will bring the truth. That is what you were trying to avoid. This is not poetry. This is not metaphor. It is a warning. The moment of death will come with the clarity that strips away every illusion. Everything you thought mattered will suddenly lose its weight. The only thing that will remain is what you did for the sake of Allah. People fear losing money, status, relationships, and opportunities. But the real loss is not felt in this life. The real loss begins when a person enters the grave unprepared. The grave is not just a hole in the ground. It is the beginning of the hereafter. It is the first stage of a journey that leads either to peace beyond imagination or regret beyond comprehension. The grave is either a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of hell. This reality does not depend on what you owned, how popular you were, or how successful you seemed. It depends on your faith, your sincerity, and your deeds. Imagine the moment your soul is taken. The people around you will cry. They will call your name, but you will not respond. The body that once moved, spoke, and chased desires will lie still. And in that moment, your journey begins. Allah takes the souls at the time of their death, and those that do not die during their sleep. He keeps those for which he has decreed death and releases the others for a specified term. Death is not an accident. It is not random. It is written, and when it arrives, it does not wait for you to be ready. You will be carried by people who cannot help you. You will be placed into the ground by hands that will eventually leave you. The soil will cover you. The sounds of footsteps will fade. And then, for the first time, you will be truly alone. That loneliness is not like anything in this world. No phone, no distraction, no conversation. Just you and your deeds. And behind them is a barrier until the day they are resurrected. This barrier is the life of the grave. It is real. It is long. And it is often ignored because it cannot be seen. The grave compresses. It tightens. It embraces the body in a way that no human can imagine. For the believer, it becomes a place of comfort, a space that expands with light and peace. But for the one who neglected their purpose, it becomes constricting, suffocating, filled with darkness. And whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed, he will have a depressed life, and we will gather him on the day of resurrection blind. That depressed life is not limited to this world. It extends into the grave. A person who lived disconnected from Allah will feel that disconnection in the most intense way when they are placed in the earth. Then comes the questioning. Two angels will come. Their presence is not gentle like human interaction. It is overwhelming, powerful, undeniable. They will sit the person up and ask questions that cannot be answered with memorization alone. Who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet? In this world, these questions seem simple. Anyone can say the words, but in the grave, the answers come from the heart, not the tongue. Allah keeps firm those who believe with the firm word. In worldly life and in the hereafter, the believer will answer with certainty, not because they practiced words, but because they lived those words. Their life reflected their belief. But the one who ignored the truth will struggle. Their answers will falter. Fear will take over. Regret will begin to grow, but it will be too late. At that moment, the reality becomes clear. Not the reality people talk about, but the one they avoid thinking about. A window will be opened. For the believer, it will show a place in paradise. A glimpse of what is waiting, peace, beauty, and a promise that what is coming is better than anything they left behind. For them are good tidings in the worldly life. and in the hereafter. But for the one who turned away, a different window will be opened. A place in hell, a sight that brings terror, regret, and a realization that what lies ahead is worse than anything they feared. And if you could but see when the wrongdoers are in the overwhelming pangs of death, while the angels extend their hands saying, "Release your souls. Today you will be awarded the punishment of humiliation." The grave is not silent. It speaks in ways that are not heard with ears. It reveals truths that were hidden during life. Time passes differently in the grave. It is not measured by clocks or calendars. It is experienced through condition. For some, it feels short and peaceful. For others, it feels long and unbearable. On the day they see it, it will be as though they had not remained except an afternoon or a morning. What you thought was a long life will feel like a brief moment, and what you ignored will feel like everything. People spend their lives preparing for events that may never happen. They plan for careers, relationships, and futures that are uncertain. But the one event that is guaranteed, the grave is often neglected. Why? Because thinking about it is uncomfortable. It disrupts the illusion of control. It forces a person to confront their reality. But ignoring it does not delay it. Every day that passes is a step closer. Every breath is a countdown. Every moment is a chance to prepare or a chance lost. Every soul will taste death. Not some souls, not most souls. Every single one. This is not meant to create fear without purpose. It is meant to awaken awareness. Because the one who remembers the grave lives differently. They pray with sincerity, knowing it might be their last prayer. They seek forgiveness, knowing they may not have another chance. They treat people with kindness, knowing that their deeds will accompany them into the grave, and turn to Allah in repentance. All of you, O believers, that you might succeed. Success is not defined by this world. It is defined by what happens after it. The grave exposes everything. It removes titles, wealth, and status. It leaves only truth. A person may have been praised in this world, but the grave will reveal their reality. Another may have been unnoticed, but the grave will elevate them beyond imagination. The real question is not how people see you. It is how you will be seen when you are alone in the earth, and they will find what they did present before them. Nothing is lost. Every action, every intention, every word, it is all preserved. There are people who lived carelessly, assuming they would have time to change. Time passed, opportunities slipped, and suddenly death arrived. And there are those who remembered early, who changed while they could, who turned back before it was too late. The difference between them is not intelligence, wealth, or opportunity. It is awareness. The awareness that the grave is real. The awareness that life is temporary. The awareness that what comes next is permanent. Indeed, the hearing, the sight, and the heart about all those one will be questioned. You will be asked about what you listened to, what you watched, what you felt, what you chose. The grave is not the end. It is the beginning of accountability. And yet, despite knowing this, people delay. They say they will change later. They assume they have time. They live as if death is far away. But death does not follow your schedule. It does not wait for your plans. It does not care about your timing. When their time comes, they will not delay it for a single hour, nor will they advance it. This is why the reality of the grave is not something to fear and forget. It is something to remember and act upon. Because one day, you will be there, not in imagination, not in theory, in reality, placed in the ground with nothing but your deeds. And in that moment, you will wish for one more chance, one more prayer, one more act of sincerity, one more moment to turn back and spend from what we have provided you before death approaches one of you and he says, "My Lord, if only you would delay me for a brief term so I would give charity and be among the righteous." But that chance will not come. The life you have now is that chance. The time you have now is that opportunity. The awareness you feel now is a gift. Do not ignore it, because the grave is not waiting for you to be ready. It is waiting for you regardless. And even now as you continue living, moving, planning, and thinking about tomorrow. The reality beneath your feet remains unchanged. The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. You walk on so confidently is the very same earth that will one day close over you. The places you visit, the rooms you sit in, the streets you pass through, none of them will go with you. They are temporary in a journey that is leading in one direction only. And you have certainly come to us alone as we created you the first time. And you have left whatever we bestowed upon you behind your backs. Alone, that is how you will return. Not with your friends, not with your followers, not with your possessions. The things you spent years protecting will not protect you. The people you tried so hard to impress will not stand beside you. Even your closest loved ones will step away at the edge of your grave. There is a deep silence in that realization, a silence that strips away excuses. Because when you truly understand that you will stand alone, you begin to question everything you are doing now. Who are you trying to please? What are you really working for? And what will remain when everything else is taken away? The grave does not care about appearances. It does not respond to status. It does not recognize the illusions that dominate this life. It responds only to truth. And truth is not what you say, it is what you lived. And that there is not for man except that for which he strives. Every effort you make is being recorded. Every toward, every moment of patience. Every time you resisted something wrong, it all matters more than you realize. At the same time, every hidden sin, every act done in darkness, thinking no one sees, it is not lost. The of this world is designed to test you, not to satisfy you. That is why even those who seem to have everything still feel something missing, because this world was never meant to be complete. The completeness comes after the grave, for better or for worse. And the worldly life is not but amusement and diversion. But the home of the hereafter is best for those who fear Allah. When the soil is placed over you, distractions end. There are no more second chances, no more delays, no more pretending. What you built within yourself becomes your reality. If you filled your life with remembrance, your grave will reflect that. If you filled it with heedlessness, that too will appear. Thank you for watching this video. May Allah guide us through the right path. Ameen. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next one.